Mike here with that'sgoodenough4me.com. We're doing our Who's Zoomin' Who series. I'm joined with Ed from Zebrahead, Darrin, formerly from Goldfinger, and Preston from Be Like Max. How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
Living the dream.
I didn't fuck up the intro.
That was like butter, smooth.
All right. Well, for starters, I just kind of like to ask everybody what they're up to during the pandemic and how you're staying busy. I'll start with you, Ed. I know that you're usually a very busy person with Zebrahead and your career. What have you been doing?
I have a case business in the Los Angeles area where we make cases for musicians and event production industry, stuff like that. I've been doing that, but it's been a little slow because there's no events going or no concerts and that sort of thing. I ride bikes like crazy and rescue cats. We've been rescuing cats like crazy. And my wife's a huge cat fan. I'm a huge cat fan. We always have 6 or 7 cats in the house and milk bottles and forming and all that stuff. And then riding bikes and still trying to make road cases and stuff. And still come here every day and sit at the computer and try to get it done, you know? Oh, yeah. Making the drum videos. That's been fun as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be sure to bring up the drummer video stuff. And it's funny that you're rescuing cats. I also work with Punk News. I was able to interview Jeff Pizzotti from Naked Ray Gun the other day on the phone, which was awesome. And he runs a raccoon rescue shelter, which I thought was
awesome.
Amazing, with his wife.
Darrin,
yeah, for sure. Darrin, what have you been up to?
I actually have a job working for a record company called Explorer One Music, which is only about a year or so old, and a lot of hard rock bands on it, including a band called British Lion, which is Steve Harris from Iron Maiden, his side project. I got a delay, and they hired me in January, and boom, COVID, and now I'm booking nothing, but I'm still getting paid by the grace of God. So in the meantime, I've just been doing these fun little videos for punk rock karaoke, these sing-alongs with these people, these high-profile guys in punk bands give me videos of them sing along to one of our tracks, and then we play along, and I put it together and throw it out into the world, and drum on some friends' demos. I'm getting back into my record label, High 4 Recordings, getting ready to release Jason Cropper's new record. He was the original guitar player for Weezer, who wrote songs on the Blue record. He was the best man at my first wedding. So I'm getting ready to get the record label back up and running, digital distribution, playing drums on people's demos and recordings whenever I can, and just trying to stay sane.
Hell yeah. Preston, how about you?
Like we were saying earlier, man, I mean, I've been working this entire time at Panera. Just been, it's been popping off there, dude. Everyone wants to come in and eat, basically. But besides work, you know, I've been trying to practice more. I actually just invested in an audio interface and mic, so that's something super new to me. Whenever, you know, I was doing like my drum covers, it was just my phone or a GoPro, so it's a whole new world trying to figure out how to make your drums sound decent with the mic setup. But besides that, sorry, it was someone.
Oh, I was just saying, I got to hand it to your attention to detail in your drum covers. You know, Ed, we'll get into your Zebrahead covers, but Preston's been going and covering other bands, and just paying attention to every single fill is something that's so sacred to me. So, you know, I adore you for taking so much time to play every song perfectly. It's been fucking awesome.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm just super, when it comes down to drum covers, you know, a lot of people like putting their own taste on it. I think that's great, but it's like something in me where I need to play exactly what is on that record, you know. It's just a process. It's cool. But besides that, just actually my band, we started writing new music over the weekend, so new record will come eventually. New songs are coming.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it's kind of ironic because I reached out to you guys to do a Zoom meeting before I had a Zoom meeting with Adam Lorbach and Denny from 10 Foot Pole and Homegrown Respected. And I started asking them questions about drum parts and drummers, and they were both like, I don't give a fuck. the drummer's back there doing his thing. I don't know. It's whatever. As long as he's in time. And so now I get kind of the complete opposite experience talking to you guys about detail and about actual drumming stuff. So, Ed, I'd like you to take a moment to kind of plug your YouTube videos a little bit, because you said you have 12 more of them in the bank now, and you just have the one on your Facebook, which is awesome.
I think, well, first of all, I saw your cover of Peepaw by Paris, and that is what motivated me to make a drum video.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I'm just a huge Paris fan, a huge fan of that song. I love the new record, and watch someone nail those bridge fills like that. I was stoked. You did a great job. It was really cool. Maybe you want to get in there and just play, you know, sitting on your ass and pandemic. And I've never been like, oh, check me out, I'm the drummer guy. So it was kind of a weird step for me to record and make a drum video. My partner at work, I don't know if you guys remember, Nate used to play for Rupio and Lit, Nate Walker. We sit next to each other all day at work, and he's really into cameras and recording. I'm into recording audio. So we just kind of started doing them for fun. And next thing you know, we're, going to do 15 of them. And it's been a really fun process, different cameras, different placement, chest cam. I love having cameras on the hi-hat stand. Those bounce around on the full-time songs. And it's just a really fun thing to do. And I'm trying to do kind of like what you're doing and keep the songs kind of original to what they were, just adding one little element that's different just to show that it's not the record version. And yeah, it's been really kind of fun to do, actually.
Yeah, and for anybody that hasn't checked them out, Ed's drum videos, videography wise, are unlike anything that anybody else is doing. So it's been super fun to watch. And of course, you play drums like a crazy person too, all left-handed and fucking weird.
It's weird.
It's fascinating to watch for me.
It's almost like literally the way I look at it is learning without a teacher for the first 3 years, and then rather than when I started getting proper lessons, rather than get rid of the bad habits, accentuate the bad habits and try to make them a style. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I have T-Rex songs when I do air, so and there's nothing that I could ever do. I played in front of a mirror, and it just isn't going to go away. So I've just learned to embrace it.
Yeah, I can't watch the videos. I've seen when Nate helps me edit them because he does most of the editing. It's hard for me to look at myself. It's just like, oh man. Yeah.
It's a funny thing. It's for me and the Peapod cover, and I did a Lagwagon one that night too. That was like I snuck over to one of my band's rehearsal spaces, which is in their parents' detached garage, and it was the first time I got to do anything loud for weeks and weeks after the pandemic. And so, like, as I was rendering the film and watching it in slow motion, I was like watching all of this like fear and anxiety shooting out of me, as I'm just beating shit, which was hilarious, but necessary for me that week. Yeah. Darrin, I am asking everybody, what's the last show that you played or attended, either or, before all of this shit happened?
Punk Rock Karaoke got together and played a show in the Valley in Los Angeles at a place called the Corbin Bowl, which is a bowling alley, and it's got a lounge, and it's basically a punk rock bowling league with a bunch of these guys in bands, and Greg's part of it, and I think Blag from the Dwarves is part of it, and I think Danzig shows up every now and again. But there's this big punk rock bowling league there, and all these fans show up to meet these bands, whatever. And so that's the last show we played, and it was actually a lot of fun. We played for about an hour and a half, and that was the last actual show that I played.
Cool.
When was that, Darrin?
I'm sorry, Ed?
When did that happen? When did you play that?
That was February.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. But I play drums every day. I try to sit down every day. This last weekend, I was up in Lake Arrowhead for 3-4 days with my wife, celebrating our anniversary and my birthday. So,
congrats. Happy birthday.
Thank you. So yeah, I didn't play a lot of drums up there, but usually when I'm home, I just pop into my studio. It's soundproof as can be, and I got electric kit. So if it's late and I want to hit stuff, I got a really nice V kit, rolling V drums, and I can.
That's awesome.
Play late, but right now it's only 3:00, 3:30. I can just go bash away and not bother anybody. I got neighbors, but they're like, I'm like, hey, you hear the drums? And they're like, oh yeah, we can hear them. I go, I'm really sorry. I'm a drummer. I got to play. They're like, oh, you're really good. I'm like, you must be listening to some other drummer.
Yeah. No, that's funny. I lived like with I lived with my head like facing an air vent that was connected to a basement studio once, and I learned how to fall asleep to drummers, and I could do it if they were good. If they could play the click, I could fall asleep to it. But if they were bad, I'd be awake. Preston, how about you?
I think the last show that Feel Like Max played was probably like late February. It was at some warehouse, man. That's usually all with the shows we play are warehouse shows or house shows lately, but I think that's the last show we played. I can't even remember the last show that I went to, like that I wasn't playing at least, but yeah, it just seems so long ago. I don't know. But definitely late February was the last show that we played.
Mine was Valentine's Day. So yeah, I remember it very much. And I miss it. And it does seem like a very long time ago, even though you're how about you, Ed?
Our last show was a club show after the Sum 41 show, like February 8th in Germany. I'm sorry, I forget the name of the club of the city, but we had played there before. It was fun. We did a 3-4 week run in Europe with Sum 41 and did club shows on our own with the days off. It was great, man. I love playing over there. It's kind of where we've been concentrating the last 10 years or so.
Cool.
Awesome.
And Darrin, you played with Sum 41 for a minute, right?
Yeah, quick cup of coffee.
What was your favorite song to play of theirs?
You know, all their hits are amazing, and I've known those guys for a long time.
Yeah.
And obviously, the hits are really good. You know, like Motivation and Fat Lip. But they have a song called "Welcome to Hell," which is like super gnarly fast punk rock with a few double bass blasts in there, some 30-second double bass, and that's one of my favorites to play. I love that song before I was in that band for 5 seconds. But yeah, "Welcome to Hell" and maybe what's that song called? I can't remember it. But yeah, the heavier, the faster, the better.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say. Now, kind of stemming off of that, your opening fill to Goldfinger's "Nothing to Prove," to me, is like a quintessential, like one of the most solid fucking punk fills that I've ever heard, and it's awesome. And I was hoping that once you heard that on tape, you were like, "Good God, I fucking nailed it."
I came from a metal background, so those triplets, those fast triplets, those bottom triplets were part of my drumming language for a long time before I joined Goldfinger.
Spectacular. I was hoping that we could kind of go around, and it doesn't necessarily have to be your own drumming, but I'm welcoming it to be of just a moment in a session that you knew that a track had just been fucking nailed perfectly. And I'll start with you, Darrin.
I mean, in the history of my playing?
Yeah.
Everyone. Is that an answer?
Sure. Well, you know how it is, though. You know, when you're in a section.
Throughout the history of Goldfinger and all the records I played on, I was never the guy that had red light fever. I was always usually a 1 or 2 take kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
There were a few tricky moments and grooves. And as John Feldman got more and more involved in production and more, his head got more wrapped around the production side of things, it became like 3 or 4 or 5 takes because as perfect as I thought it wasn't perfect enough for John. Mm-hmm. And we would have vicious arguments like, I do it 3 times and I would literally put the sticks down or hit the last cymbal and think, oh yeah, I fucking nailed it. And then John would come in to talk back. He's like, buddy, that was brutal. And I'm like, are you trying to fucking kill me? And then I do another take, like take 4, there we go. And then the last hit, wham! And I'm like, there's no way on earth that was a bad take. It was perfect. He goes, dude, you're getting there, man. You're getting there, buddy. And that's when I'm like, dude, you're just going to beat detective this shit. So fuck it, I'm done. I walk out of the room.
Yeah. No, and his like quest for absolute sonic perfection definitely hit that mark for me as a listener and as a fan of what you guys did and the type of work that he puts out. It's a little too perfect for me anymore, personally.
That's a complaint that a lot of people seem to have with John's production. I mean, there's two sides of John Feldman coin. There's the producer side of the coin, and then there's the songwriter side of the coin. The songwriter side of that coin, I will never bag on. I will never pull John through the gutter. I will never say a negative thing about the man. The guy knows how to pick up a guitar or sit down on the piano and craft a song, regardless of style. It could be Hillary Duff 1 minute, Black Veil Bride the next, or The Used, or Gold. It doesn't matter. The man has his stomping ground where I thought it was perfect. It wasn't perfectly lined.
Can you back up a little bit to The Man Has, because we're having some connectivity issues. You're doing this. All right, you're back.
So yeah, the production side of things, I'm not a gigantic fan of his production either. It is too hyper perfect. It's just too fucking perfect. I grew up with records that had flaws, and I like flaws. As long as they're not glaring train wrecks, leave them in.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm a big fan of a lot of stuff that he's done, but I couldn't do this Zoom meeting without talking to you about this. So he did 12 Days of Christmas with Travis Barker.
Yeah.
It is, to me, sonically, like engineer-wise, I can tell that it was a lot of fun to put together. But me and my buddies have a Goldfinger 12 Days of Christmas challenge where we send it to each other and we see how far into the song you can listen to it without turning it off.
That's funny.
Because it gets I don't know if you've listened to it before, but
I've heard it once or twice. Yeah.
It's an outrageous song. All right. No, it's silly, and I get it. And it's a joke, and it's hilarious, and it's brilliantly engineered. But it's a little long-winded.
It is.
Preston,
it's 12 fucking days. You got to go through each one 12 times.
yeah, that's true. Preston, how about you?
What was exactly your question again?
The question was name a fill or a song that on some Be Like Max stuff that you were just like, fuck yeah, in the studio. As soon as you played it, you were like, perfect.
I gotta say I'm pretty proud of some fills on Time Flies. Do you remember listening to that song on Save Us All?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much like the drum break in that song. But that song, yeah, those fills when I was in the studio. I mean, it wasn't like first or the first one. So once it hit, it hit. It was cool. But
yeah, cool. All right, Ed, your turn.
At Zebrahead, we do things so differently than most bands. A lot of times we're writing right until we go into the studio. So there is pre-production, but not a whole lot of it. So a lot of it is the takes, the first 3 or 4 takes playing through. But we have a song on a few albums ago called Automatic, where the producer was kind of doing the same thing. A guy named Cameron Webb, great producer, great guy. He was just beating the crap out of me like, dude, hit harder, dude, hit harder. And I think we were listening to that big Every Time I Die record that week, so we were just used to hearing really big, loud drums where the guy's just, I don't even know his name. It's such a great drum record. Kicking the shit out of the drums, and he had me keep doing it to the point where I finally had a take where I'm like, this is great. All the rack heads are dented in, everything's destroyed. And I actually broke my elbow on that take. And when I hear the song today on the record, I can hear what he's talking about. There's like sound replacement, editing. What the fuck does it matter, dude? Come on. And but when I hear the track today, it's nothing special in the parts or fills. I played the song a lot, and it's just very. It's one of the more solid takes I've ever gotten. I think. That makes sense.
I'm a fan of that song too, so I like your answer.
Yeah, listen to that one, and you'll hear the difference. You'll hear the dynamic, I think.
Yeah, I've been gravitated towards that one, so.
Next time I see Zebrahead play, I'm going to say break an elbow. Coming.
Yeah, it's a little chip on it fucked me up for about 3 years, that little chip in the elbow there.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Next, I'm going around. I'm just letting everybody. It doesn't have to be small time or big time or new or old, but I'm just asking everybody to recommend an album to listen to. And I'll start with you, Darrin.
Any album?
Any album.
Jeez, that's a tough one. I got so many in my collection that I love start to finish, and it really depends on my mood. Like some days I'm in a Bob Marley mood, other days I'm in a Cannibal Corpse mood. Beatles one day, the Police the next. It's really hard to say. But one record I suppose that will please anybody would probably be Rubber Soul by the Beatles. And
Cool.
There's kind of something for everybody on that record. Agreed.
I'm going to go with Belvedere. And I'm looking at my phone because I can't remember the name of the record. The Revenge of the Fifth. That's what I listened to when I was walking my dog earlier today. I just got an itch to listen to it. Terrific band if you haven't listened to them. They kind of dip into like Wilhelm Scream category, kind of. And I think they're from Canada.
They are from Canada.
Cool. Preston, your turn.
Man, probably. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the band Angel Dust. They're kind of like a new hardcore band. Have you guys heard of Angel Dust? Last year they came out with a new record, and just the way that the direction that they took on that record, it's completely different from what they're used to. I'd recommend listening to that record. It's called Pretty Buff. So it's
Cool.
one of my favorites.
Okay. Ed, your turn.
Man, so I could go with like Darrin's. I'm a huge Beatles fan. I like Patsy Cline. I like Slayer, Pantera. There's so much rad stuff out there. But what I'm listening to this week, there's 4 records. Can I name 4?
Of course.
Well, I love Pear's new record. This came out. That record is so damn good. It sounds like a bunch of dudes who are trying as hard as they can to write the funnest, most shreddiest songs they can just because it's fun. And the tones, I mean, they pay attention. Everything sounds so great. That one, I'm a huge direct hit fan. Brainless God, that record, songwriting-wise to me, and just the punk rock ethos and that stuff. I love that record. I like a band from Canada called Dirty Nil.
Yeah.
They have an album called Master Volume. To me, it's like mixing Georgia Satellites with punk rock vibe. The songwriter and guitar playing, it's just so good. And I still listen to the Every Time I Die record, The Big Dirty. As far as the drum record goes and guitar riffs, that record, production, it's unbelievably good. It's standing the test of time.
Oh yeah.
Those are my 4. That's what I'm listening to this week.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I'm not sure if, well, you guys shouldn't know this. It's not important. But the Matty Lewis from Zebrahead, he used to be a local musician in my music community in Nebraska before he was in Zebrahead. So I listened to his band when I was in middle school. And
Nice.
he, of course, moved on to join Zebrahead. I got to talking with Denny from 10 Foot Pole in a Zoom meeting about the over-under that a band is going to successfully re-record some of their hits and put them on Spotify and have them turn out good. And I have to say, once again, the Zebrahead revisited the early years album. Not only sounds almost exactly like the original songs, but I was happy that you guys took the time to do that and get Matty's voice on some of the classic Zebrahead songs.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that because we worked really hard to get the tones the same. And our new guitar player, everybody knows Dan. Dan's like the guitar guy. He lives and breathes and sleeps guitar. He's a shredding, amazing guitar player and a great dude. And he was totally game to go for the tones and everything we had to do from our early records. And Greg was very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, a very distinct sound. So we had to work really hard to get those sounds. And for us, it was just to have Matty on because we had a good time with Matty, and Matty's a great singer. It was fun, and we just really wanted to see if we could do it. And getting the tones was the hardest part for me. And being able to play the way I used to play was really hard. I was really kind of slappy, groovy, funky before. And 15 years later, playing to a click track, is hard to get that vibe because we didn't do those first records like that. The first records were just on tape, you know, click on some of it, not click on others. It was kind of weird back then.
Oh, for sure. And as I was talking to Denny from 10 Foot Pole, and thinking out loud right now, I can't think of any other bands that have pulled that off. You know, I was trying to get in. I got super into TSOL a couple weeks ago because they did what I thought was one of the cooler live stream things from Punk Rock Bowling. And as soon as I got done watching them live, I fell into this TSOL rabbit hole, and I ended up hearing some stuff that they re-recorded again, and I just, why do bands do this? But then, of course, I was immediately reminded that it is possible to do it and have it turn out really good. So, good job, Ed.
Thanks very much, man.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Next, I just kind of wanted to go around and talk about a piece of drum hardware, cymbal, drum, something that you find to be just incredibly reliable. It's your best friend. I can go by example. I have this big 22-inch Meinl Crash over on my right side that, at the very least, if I don't know what I'm going to do on a song, I can just fucking pound it. Ed, do you have a best friend on your kit?
Yeah, I started playing Sonar drums about 10 years ago, and I played double pedal, and I have a weird configuration where my cheater pedal's on the outside of my hi-hat, and they have an extension that works really well to put it out there. But it's called a giant step by Sonar, and that pedal, I mean, I've played everything you can think of, and that pedal is just the most responsive pedal I've ever played. It never breaks. The forge is made well, you know. It's such an easy pedal, you can count on it. I love that freaking pedal. Love it. Wouldn't play without it. You put some DW 5000s up there or 9000s, I'd be like, these are cool, but I can't play the way I normally play without the giant step.
Cool. I'm gonna put Jeff, our editor, back in here so we can hear some of our super like nerdy drum talk.
Right.
We'll just move on to him. I'll just ask him the question that I asked you guys, since he seems to have all the answers. All right, Jeff, turn on your mic. It's your turn.
All right.
It's your turn. Name an essential or just your most favorite reliable piece of drum hardware, cymbal or drum that you own, that you use on a day-to-day basis.
So I'm a big fan of the floor tom.
Works for me. All right, Darrin.
And if there's a second part that I think really, really helps, it's when I have a drumstick in my hand.
Dude, that was totally my joke. You just told my joke. That was my joke. I was going to say drumsticks, asshole.
It's okay. Mike can cut that part out.
Whatever.
All right, Darrin. Now you have to think about your answer.
Well, I was going to say drumsticks, but everything's thrown out.
Oh, sorry, Darrin.
All right. Dude.
Oh, God.
I had a Black Beauty snare drum growing up, and I didn't appreciate it when I was 10 years old when it was brought to our house for our family to play, and we all banged on it. And then I was one that played it along to like Black Sabbath songs and Led Zeppelin songs and whatever, and just to tap along on a snare. And then I started getting into the rudiments a little bit. But that drum is long gone, and I wish I had it back, because I bet you it's an old, rad, expensive Black Beauty. But I got a new one 2 years ago from the Ludwig folks. And boy, oh boy, that drum fucking sings like a bird. There's so much you can do with a Ludwig.
Cool. Okay.
I can tell you what part of the drum set I don't appreciate. When you're playing like shows, when you're like your friends' bands are little and they're going like to garage shows and stuff, but there's that one guy who has like the full like cage to set everything up on, and he insists on bringing it to like every dinky little garage show, and it takes him like 30 minutes to set it up and down, and like since you're their friend and you're hanging out, you get stuck like carrying it all back and forth for him because he's about like 5'5" and
the best part about that drummer is when you're on tour and you're playing after that drummer, and you're watching everybody leave the venue just as fast as they can, and the drummer's on stage like taking his hi-hat apart into little pieces while you're sitting with your entire kit in your hand. like hoping to play in front of 3 people and find a place to crash. All right, I'm not jaded at all. Preston, your turn.
My favorite part about my setup, at least, is my ride cymbal, man. I have a 22-inch Zildjian K light ride. Best ride I've ever used, ever.
I love those.
It can be like, if you wanna go ham on it and just crash on it, dude, it's the best sounding crash. And it's just super like it's just musical, man. It's delicate. Like if you want to, you know, actually play soft, it'll sound great when you play it soft. Or if you want to play, you know, rock music, dude, you can beat the shit out of it and it sounds amazing. My favorite cymbal.
A really good fast ska ride cymbal.
Dude.
For sure.
Yeah.
So this next question, Darrin, is a lead-in for Preston's Snickers bar question that he wanted to ask you. But I just wanted to comment. Were you really planning on attaching an ass hair scotch tape to every copy of Darrin's Coconut Ass, which was recorded 45 minutes away from my house?
I actually had that idea on our first record. And it got shot down. But when they were smoking that ass, really quick, that record got titled because it was supposed to be the title of Hang-Ups. The whole band and our producer and our A&R guy and the marketing people in the studio. Yeah, let's call it Darrin's Coconut Ass. You got a hairy ass, Darrin. It'll be hilarious. Everyone will think it's hilarious. And I was the only one to go, no, I will not be part of this. We're not calling it Darrin's fucking Coconut Ass. Yeah, there it is. So the second
That's a fucking great record, dude.
Second record is called Hang-Ups. And it wasn't until we recorded the cover record where the band kind of put their foot down. They're like, we're calling it Darrin's Coconut Ass. I wanted to call it Everything's Covered. Get it? But they thought that was stupid. And so but we wanted to put up ass. I wanted to shave my ass a few times, you know, like whatever, and take ass hair and tape it to the first, I think, 100 copies to make it elite. But the record label actually thought it was funny, but there might be health issues if there was part of my body on every record.
Now that
I bought that record, Darrin.
Was there any Scotch tape on it?
No. I'll send you guys a little collection of my ass hair just so you can say you have it.
No, I'm gonna put a little Venmo down here. If you give to the That's Good Enough for Me Venmo, then we'll be sending Darrin's ass hairs.
It'll be on me. I'll eat the cost.
All right. What did I walk into?
So yeah, that record was recorded at the Ranch Bowl in Omaha, which is a Walmart now. Just so
is it really a Walmart? Oh, that's too bad. That was a great room.
That was a place. You know, a lot of the musicians in my community have fought hard for our venues that we've lost to different things. But people were like chaining themselves to that building as they were tearing it down. That's how serious that loss was, which is a huge.
It was a great venue. You could bowl, you could hang out, you could. The venue itself was a wonderful room. And then we didn't even know there was a recording studio until like the third time we played there. Then the guy was like, "You guys want to record some songs?"
Yeah.
And we were fighting viciously that day. John and Charlie were at each other's throats. Me and Simon were at each other's throats. Everyone was just hating each other that day. So we played a great show. We're still angry backstage, wanting to kill each other. And the guy walks in there and goes, "I got a bunch of shit mic'd up, ready to go. Who wants to record?" We're like, "We don't have any new songs. We got a bunch of covers. Is that cool?" He's like, "Done." We were up till 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Recording that record. He handed the hard drive over and goes, "Just give me credit." And by the end of the recording, we were all brothers again. We were all best friends.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
That's a really good story. So now, Preston, can you ask Darrin his like Snickers bar up his ass question?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've heard about this for years and years, ever since I was younger. Okay. My friend, you know, he's saying, you know, you should check out this drummer, dude. Like, I I heard during his live show, he puts Snickers in between his butt cheeks, and he calls people on stage for them to eat them. You know, I was like, wow, that's sick, dude. And I told my friend the other day that I got to ask you that, and he's pretty happy that you confirmed.
It's actually a long story. The genesis of it was we were playing a college venue in California, and I think it's Occidental College in like Eagle Rock or something. And Brian Arthur was playing guitar, who took over for Charlie Paulson. And we're backstage. People are chanting, they want more. And we're eating these donuts because we're starving. We're eating these donuts, and they're Goldfinger, gold. And we go, let's walk on stage with the donuts. It'll be hilarious. And I go, we'll play some more Goldfinger songs if anyone eats this half of this donut out of my ass. There was no shortage of hands. Everyone's like, I'll do it. So my guitar player, Brian, stuck the Twinkie or the donut at that point in between my butt cheeks. And a girl actually came up and ate it out of my ass. And then it morphed into a Twinkie. And I know you've seen it 1,000 times. And then it morphed for a Twinkie for a long time. It was a Twinkie. And then the Snickers would have been if we couldn't find a Twinkie somewhere. We went and found a Snickers bar. But Snickers was only maybe done like 5 or 6 times. So it was usually a Hostess Twinkie.
Thanks for confirming that.
Of all the times I've done this, guys, only once in the history of this stupid stunt that I did, that I got talked into doing, was one guy actually, because what would happen is like the Twinkie would be out of my butt, right? And then the guy would come up and bite the part sticking out and leaving half of it exposed. And then my part was to reach back, grab the rest of it out of my ass and eat that. And the crowd was like, oh my God, that's disgusting. One time, I think in New Jersey, probably, those weirdos, this guy stuck his tongue all the way in my ass and got behind the Twinkie, right? Got behind it and pulled the whole thing out. And I turn around and he's like, whoop, whoop. And I reach back and it's gone. And I felt his tongue on my butthole for like a half a second. So if the question is, has Darrin ever had his salad tossed by a man? The answer is yes.
The progressive.
And I am proud of it. I did it for the art.
Jeff, this new site's taking off, bro.
we're going all the way. All the way.
I mean, I'm probably the only drummer on this panel that's had his ass eaten by a man. I mean, with certainty. Silence.
Well, see, the best part is I'm not a drummer, so that could be patently true.
No, and I have to say that though, Darrin, because over the years, Goldfinger was occasionally a target from like super cool punk dudes that say you guys aren't punk and blah blah blah. But like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, think about that. You guys played in Omaha at Sokol Auditorium once, and the staff at Sokol was telling you guys you couldn't bring people up on stage. And when John invited everybody on stage to sing Mabel, the sound people cut the fucking sound, and you guys just turned your monitors towards the crowd and finished the show. Like, that's punk rock.
Surprised the monitor guy didn't play along and mute all the monitors.
Yeah, no, that was such a cool moment, and just kind of validated what this genre is about, and what all these artists are trying to get across. And I'll never forget that. That was fucking awesome.
Like for the first couple years of the band, I took any kind of criticism against our band seriously. I took it to heart, but then I grew up pretty quickly and grew a thick skin. Whenever someone said we weren't ska, I'm like, yeah, duh, we're not ska. We're not Real Big Fish. We're not Less Than Jake. We're not. You guys aren't punk. I'm like, yeah, we're not great. We're not Rancid, of course. I didn't know what we were. I would just say we were just a fun rock band that liked a lot of different styles. So when someone came up to me and wanted to cause a fight, like, you guys aren't punk enough, I'm like, yeah, duh, I agree with you. Next.
Yeah. No, and Ed, I'm sure you have the exact same situation going for you guys. You guys get to do whatever the fuck you want now.
We never worried about what people labeled us as. We just kind of wanted to write the songs we wanted to write. And the cool part about it was we could tour with ska bands like Real Big Fish or rock bands like Goldfinger or Less Than Jake, and we do seem to fall into that category a lot. And you know what? We're okay with that because we love that kind of music. and the fans are great in that kind of music. So we happily grabbed onto the coattails of that, or our friends, and got in the van and saw what we could and did what we could. Had a good time. I think I played the Ranch Bowl with you, Darrin, more than once.
Probably. Yeah. Great room. I miss it.
Yeah. I loved it. It was awesome.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. A lot of people in my network are really going to appreciate that from both of you guys. So,
I remember I have a good story about the Ranch Bowl. Ben, our bass player, Darrin.
Yeah, of
We
course.
used to love the chicken wings at the Ranch Bowl, and we'd get them, and he would just mow down the chicken wings every time. And the last time we played there, we got a bad batch. It was amazing. Poor rough guy. Bucket on the side of the stage at First Avenue in Minneapolis the next day. But besides that, all fond memories of the Ranch Bowl.
hey, the people in my network are really not going to appreciate that comment. So thank you.
Okay, we'll cut that part out.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't give a shit.
I'm good.
Everybody gets sick off of chicken wings sometimes. So,
Yeah.
Preston, we're going to kind of close this out with asking everybody what's to be expected in the future of your musical projects. So you got drum videos and you got Be Like Max. What do you got going on in the future?
I don't know, bro. I mean, new music with Be Like Max for sure. And who knows, man? For me, at least, I want to become a better drummer. I want chops for days, and it's gonna happen eventually. Practice hard enough, but yeah, new music, new covers. It's all coming soon.
Cool. Darrin, I'll move to you.
Just trying to survive not having shows, survive not having sports, which is a gigantic part of my life. It's crazy not being able to turn on a TV and watch a game. Recording, a lot of recording for producers and friends of mine for their demos. Record label, High 4 Recordings. My podcast, which is on Apple and Spotify and Pandora and Adobe and iHeart. It's called The Dangerous Darrin Show. This week I have Art Alexakis from Everclear. Next week, Kelly Lemieux from Buck Cherry. Got Cyndi Lauper coming on. I got Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysicist, queued up. So I got some good guests on that podcast. And yeah, just trying to get by. Live and let live.
There's some awesome guests you have on that list.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have you on, so I'll add you to that list.
Dude, Cyndi Lauper, best show I ever saw in my whole life. It was amazing.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah, unbelievably good, yeah.
That's great. Ed, what do you have going on in the future since all of your international shows have been canceled?
It's we're always working on new music, and we're working on some stuff, some quarantine style stuff that we're working on together. And of course the drum videos that Nate's been helping me with, we're gonna keep making those. And I vowed I'm going to cover Peepaw and shoot a video of it for you, just for you.
Oh yes,
so
please do
you
it.
can put on the internet if you want, but that is a great song. I want to learn the fills for in the Ridge, and just keep trying to play drums as much as I can and have fun while we're doing it, because we're all lucky we get to do it.
Well, I told Jarrett yesterday on Instagram that you and I had talked about pairs and that you were a big fan, and he was very happy to hear that. So
Oh wow,
maybe
that was incredible, dude.
I'll get you guys connected with each other, and he can teach you how to play it, because I missed all sorts of shit on it when I tried to do it. But
I thought yours was great, dude.
well, you guys are all awesome, and thank you so much for doing this with us.
Of course.
A lot of fun. The drummer never really gets a lot of attention, so I thought it would be a fun idea. So yeah, be well, and thank you guys so much.
You guys, nice to meet you guys, and nice to see you, Darrin. And thanks, Mikey. And I hope you guys have an awesome day.
Gentlemen, thank you.